Hey guys, this is Robert Plank, and I have something very special in store for you today. And we are going to be making a WordPress plugin from scratch that hooks into the Wishlist Member API, which is a fancy way of saying that we have a membership site and we can have the plugin behave differently based on what membership level our users are a part of. So here's my idea for a plugin for right now, is we're going to pretend we have a membership site filled with a bunch of videos, right? And let's say that these videos are about 20 minutes in length. But we want people to actually talk about our videos and discuss. So what if we did something like this? We had a video on the page, but we only showed the first 5 minutes. And after someone watched 5 minutes, maybe we'd stop, or maybe it doesn't have to be 5 minutes, but after a certain number of minutes, we stopped and said, now fill in some kind of an assignment. And only after they filled in a comment, then they could view the rest of the video. So maybe then we'd have like 2 videos. So we'd have the part 1 video. Then they would have to leave their comment, and then you can maybe even moderate comments and make it so after they approve the comment, now we're going to show part 2 of this section of the training. And normally you'd have to go and mess around with user levels and private tags, but how about we just make our own little plugin, so all we have to do is just approve a comment in this post and it will just show the video for them. Okay? But to do this, we actually have to make a plugin. But it's okay, because we only have to hop out and do one scary thing to basically make the folder and stuff like that, and then we can edit our plugin and add to it and improve it directly in WordPress. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into my cPanel. Go to whatever your website is /cPanel. And this is basically the back end or the dashboard for your entire website. You can back up your site here, install stuff, but we're looking for the file manager. Here we go. It's about maybe a third of the way down, file manager. And I'm going to just do whatever this says and click on go. And now we're browsing through the files of our site. I'm going to go and find where I have my blog installed. And I'm going to go into member. Okay, so here's where it gets kind of tough. Is the blog is installed in the members folder, right? So go to members, then WP-content, then plugins. So we go to this folder here, and you can kind of see, but basically every plugin has its own folder. Okay? So for example, Wishlist Member it's one plugin that got a folder. PHP Shortcode is one plugin has a folder. And basically, for a simple plugin, we just name the folder, whatever it is, the name of our plugin, and then we put in one PHP file here. So I'm going to click on plugins here. So make sure we're clicked in the plugins folder. Then click new folder. This new folder name, now we have to name our plugin. Let's just call this the participator. All right. Create new folder. Okay, so now in the plugins folder we have this participator folder, and now we're going to make a new file named this same thing. So we have the plugins folder. Sorry, I told you this is going to be kind of take a second to wrap your head around, but we have the members WP content plugins folder. We're making a subfolder in there called participator, and then a new file, and we'll just call this participator.php. Create new file. Okay, so now we've made a file, and we can go back to WordPress and go to Plugins Editor, and this is a section where we can edit the plugins that we have currently running in our site. And actually, we have to add one little thing before we can find this in this list. So real quick, let's just go. So we're in the Plugins Editor tab. Let's go here and select from the drop-down menu the Hello Dolly plugin if you still have it on your blog. This comes with WordPress, and it's kind of a good example of what a plugin just pretty much looks like. Okay, so this is just PHP code, and the very top part we have PHP, and then we have this slash star star stuff, a bunch of stuff, but then we have plugin name. And as long as there's a starry stuff and plugin name and this other stuff, then WordPress will say, okay, that's a plugin that we can begin working with. And then down below there are different, functions and stuff. You don't have to really worry about what these do quite yet, but we have to have this stuff in order to make it a plugin. So let's flip back to the file manager. We have this participator.php file. So click on that, click code editor, so we can edit or change it. Okay, I don't know why this is coming up. Some weird error, just ignore that. So this is going to load the blank PHP file that we just added. So I'm going to say PHP, whoops, I don't want all that. Okay, PHP, and then we're going to say slash star star. You go down here and say star slash. So basically we have slashes and the stars are facing in. And then I think we can just say plugin name : participator. And we're going to save the changes. Okay? And let's see if WordPress recognizes this as a plugin yet. So go to plugins editor. And here we go. Now the participator is in this list. We can click on this and select, and we can actually edit this plugin from now on right within WordPress. And what's also cool is that if we click on the plugins list, we can find this in here. Now, we haven't filled in the version number or a name, but we don't have to. This is now a plugin that we can activate. Now, activating it won't do anything, but we'll fix that in a second. So see, plugin activated. Nothing's changed. But, I mean, we do need to activate it because we will be improving it, and we need to see what exactly happens. So let's go back to Plugins Editor and make sure we're selecting the Participator plugin, and let's close some tabs because we don't need these anymore. Okay? So let's do something. So what could we do? A pretty simple thing that I can show you is we can add any text we want above or below every single post in our membership site. So to do that, let's call this function participator underscore content. We're given some kind of an input, do some brackets, okay? And we'll say, I'm going to have this message say, this is the participator plugin. And then we'll just say return input.message. So what does this do? Well, this function takes some kind of a text, like the content of a single blog post, and then it spits it back out, but this dot adds in the message underneath. So then to make this work, we can say add underscore filter, the underscore content, participator content. And so what this does, it says, every time that we display the contents of a blog post, I want you to run it through this function first, this filter, they call it. So, oops, and we have this, need to make this file writable issue. So I'm going to have to go back into the file manager, find this area, click on the file, click change permissions, and then just make sure these are all checked. So kind of a little hassle, but now that that's done, we got to refresh those. So let's just right-click, select all, right-click, copy, refresh, and okay, so this will work. So let's right-click, select all, right-click, paste. So now we have all of our changes. Now we can click Update File. So now, when we go back to our blog, we can see that underneath every post, it now says this is the participator plugin, underneath every single post that we have. So you might be asking, what the heck does this even have to do with membership sites with Wishlist Member? Let's make it so that if someone is on a certain level, then they don't see this. So let's say that we had a membership site, and I always like to use the example of having a free level and having a full level. So what if we had things set up where if someone was a free member then they have to participate in order to keep watching more videos. But if someone's on the full level, they can just watch as many videos as they want. So we're going to go to wishlistproducts.com/API, and then we'll go down to this WLM API list. And I use this one function more than anything else: get user levels. And if you look at my video on using the API with themes, we use this as well. So let's just pretty much do exactly what we did in that video. I'm going to say participator, and I don't have to name everything participator first, but it's just good etiquette, I guess, just to make sure it doesn't mess up other plugins. Participator levels equals WLM API : get user levels. Okay, and let's say that the full level does not have to, or how about this plugin does not affect the full level. So if anytime we add // we can just put a little note here, and we can, put this is a note, and this gets ignored by computers, but we can see what we were talking about here. So let's say if in_array full participator levels with brackets, but then put an exclamation point. So this basically, I know it looks kind of funky, but just this part here says, look at all of the levels, membership levels, this user is on, but then do the opposite. So this is going to say if this user is not in the full level, keep running this plugin, run this filter, but if they're not on the full level, then we will subject them to whatever this plugin is doing. Okay, so let's update the file and let's see if this worked. Whoops. Class wishlist API not found. And if you notice, this completely craps out our whole WordPress site. So I'm glad this happened, because this might happen to you. So if this happens, switch back to the file manager, and then we'll just edit this. Click on the file name, click code editor, and mess around with the file in here. So let's kind of see what happened real quick. So what happened was, I guess wishlist was not loaded. So we'll have to do this stuff inside of this function. So really easy. Let's just select this, right click and cut, go here, right click and paste, and then here we'll just say if in array, if they are on the full level, then let's just stop. Okay, so that makes it a little bit easier. Okay, and let me just move this, and I'll explain what I just did in a second. But let me save this and get our site up and running again. So that's been saved. Refresh here, and looks like everything is good in the neighborhood. So what happened was, let me just get back to editor, edit our plugin here. So here's, I had to change it a little bit, so I'm sorry I'm doing this on the fly, but basically this says run every, how about this, run every post through our participator content filter, and then so it runs every post through there, but it says if we're on the full level, then let's just stop. Let's just give up and not keep doing this. But then if we're not on the full level, keep going and do whatever we were going to do. So let's try this out. So this user is, or says, this is the participator plugin. And are we logged in? Yes, we're logged in. Okay. And obviously, if you have wishlist, you can just protect these posts and not show them at all if someone's logged out. So now let's go and change this user and make sure this is actually working the way we want it to. So I'm going to list the members. And this user we're currently messing around with is on the free level. So if we add this person to the full level, then the plugin should stop running just for this user. So if we add to level full. And so the way this works is if the user is only on the full level, this plugin won't run. If the user is on the full and free level, plugin won't run. If the user is on the free level, plugin will run. If the user is on no level, plugin will run. So basically, in every case it'll run, but if they're on the full level, even if they're on other levels, if they're on the full level, then we're like, okay, we're done. We're done. We're not going to do this. So refresh, and here you go. Now, none of these posts have this participator little tagline thing. So how do we make this example plugin into a real, useful plugin that does what we said? Where if someone is, okay, first we got the first step down, right? We've got the full level, the exemption, I guess we'll call it, right? Because if someone is full, then they're full of it. Just kidding. If they're full, then we'll just show them all the content. But now we want to say that we need to figure out if they've left a comment or not, right? Because if they're on the full level, then we'll just stop there. But then if we want to keep going, first we need to see, have they left a comment on this post? And then based on that, then we can begin to figure out what to show. But we're stuck until we can figure out if they left a comment on this post or not. So let's see what we can mess around with. Let's go edit this plugin. And what I want to do here is get the information about this particular post. So a global $post, and I'll say, show me everything about this post. And let's just show that. So let me just see what we can output. I know I'm kind of clicking around, but I want to see what is in this post. So we see a bunch of stuff, but basically I'm just dumping all the things we can mess with. We can see the number of comments, but not who comments. We can see if the comments are open or closed. So maybe in the future we could add a thing where if comments are closed, just show everything, but nothing for if the user has left a comment. Okay, but that's fine. So let's just use our trusty friend Google, and let's type in WordPress. We'll say, has user commented? Let's try something like that. Display users posting comments. How to determine if a comment's user has an account. Check if a user has a previously approved comment, but not in that post. So let's see. WordPress commented on this post. Okay, so let's see if we can just get a couple of little pieces of code here. Because I could go poke around in the database, but I don't want to lose you here. So let's see what. Of course, I don't have a table of contents. Get rid of HTML links, Twitter avatars, total number of comments, close, X number of most recent comments, comment spam, comments from a certain period. Okay, so that didn't help us. I think I found this one earlier. So this guy's doing a database query, which it looks like we might have to do that. So that's okay. Was commented. Yeah, because I mean WordPress has a lot of built-in stuff, but it looks like this is not one of those. So that's okay. We'll just have to run a database thing. So I'll just copy this. Right-click and copy. Let's go back to wherever the heck we were. Plugins editor. Let's go and choose the participator. Okay, so we're going to have, and I'll just put a // we're going to have to do something with this. Okay? And so basically what we'll be doing is we'll have the user ID, the ID of the post, and then that will be our input, and we'll get back this number of comments in this post from this user. Okay. So since we're kind of pressed for time, I'm just going to code this up really quickly. Comments. So we're going to just do this. We'll say global post. global, the current user. So we want to figure out what posts are on, what user's doing this, and then we want to do some database stuff. So I think I can just also grab from the database, and I'll have to actually do a little bit of a search here. WPDB. So this is what WordPress uses for the database, and I just want to grab one little thing. So get underscore VAR, I think. Yeah. Okay. So we'll just do this. Return WPDB get underscore var. We'll cut that, remove that stuff, paste that in, add some quotes. Okay, where user ID is current underscore user ID, and comment post ID is going to be post ID. I really hope that worked. So let's see what happens. So we can say this user has, and then participator comments. All right, this user has commented. How about that? Times on this post. So a bunch of really scary stuff. So just pretend that we found this code snippet as it was, that I didn't have to code it by hand, and let's see if this even works at all, because I have no idea, honestly, if it will. So let's update the file. Oh, whoa, really messed something up there, which is okay. Alright, so I'll just edit this in the file manager again. I should have just done that all along. I apologize. Okay, so we're back. I must have messed something up. So let's try this again. So I'm just going to keep editing in the cPanel editor for now. So this user has, and we might say this user has 5 comments in this post, right? But we don't want to have the 5. We want to have the actual number of comments. So we'll say dot. And I'll just select this, right click, copy, and so we have the stuff in quotes. This says we're going to put actual text, but then when we get out of quotes, we can put other stuff, and the dot connects it. So we're going to say the text this user has, dot to connect this, paste, dot to connect that, and then text again. So this user has number of comments in their post. Save changes. And hopefully, let's cross our fingers here, see what happens. Whoops. And, oh, I forgot to take out a bunch of other stuff. So let's just close some windows here. So I think we were, outputting. Oh, we were outputting some stuff. That will make a difference. Okay. So let's refresh. So we're not seeing anything. Oh, because I think we're on the full level. Okay, so let me go back. Yep. So we make sure to take this user off the full level. So we know that bar works. We know that if someone's on the full level, it does not apply to them. So remove this dude from the full level, and let's see what happens now. So refresh. So this user has 0 comments in this post. Now there's 1 comment, but that's from WordPress. That's from another user. This is not from me. So let's see what happens if I leave a comment here. Leave a reply. Wow, great stuff. And again, if you have the comments in your blog set to require you to approve it, then if someone just puts in a bunch of crap here just to try to get the next part of the video, you can decide not to approve it, and then you don't have to give them access. So we're going to post this comment. Okay, comments posted. Wow, great stuff. The user has 1 comment in this post. Okay, so we're kind of there. This is counting the total number of comments, whether they are approved or not. So I'm going to cheat again real quick, and I'm actually going to look at the database. So this might look familiar to you, or might not. If this just looks like a bunch of scary stuff, just ignore it. But if you've used databases before, this actually might help you. I'm using another tool in cPanel called PHP My Admin. We're looking for the comments. So we're going to click on the browse icon and comments. And this just stores things with an ID here, an ID there, the person who left the comment, and so there's comment author, user ID, okay. So we're pretty much looking, so this is like a spreadsheet basically, right? This is how stuff is sorted in the database. And there's different rows like or columns, sorry, the name, the email, but we're looking for something that says, has the comment been approved or not? And here it is. So it looks like if comment underscore approved is a 1, then it has been approved. If it's a 0, it has not been. Pretty simple. So we'll just flip back to this file editor. And we'll say select this, where this is this, and this is this. And I'll say where comment underscore approved, whoops, APP equals 1. Here we go. Let's save the changes. So now what we're looking for is, we're looking in those comments, and we're saying, okay, first of all, how many comments were posted by just this user? Okay, good, I got it. Now, how many comments were posted by this user in the current post? Okay, got it. But now, are they also approved? So let's refresh this. So my comments awaiting moderation, but I have 0 comments in this post. Okay, so now let's put this to the real test. Let's approve this comment. So I'm going to go to comments, and I can see here that I have put in a comment for approval. And just to show you this real quick, we're going to go to Settings, Discussion, and we'll just set this so that, where is it? An administrator must always approve the comment. Okay, good. So now this way, you will have to allow any comments to go through. Click on Save Changes. All right, so back to the comments. So like I said, we have this comment here, and it's yellowed out because we have not yet approved that. Now, just to be sure, comments not approved, you have 0 comments. But now if we approve it, click that button, we go back, and now you've got 1 comment. So what should happen is, when they had 0 comments, just show that first video, but now that the comment's been approved, show the next video. So we're almost there. So now we can figure out, or we have figured out, if the user has or has not left a comment on this post. But now instead of just showing them how many, let's have a little something underneath. And here's something that just kind of came to mind, is you can put in any HTML code in your boxes. So what if you did this? What if you had a post where you had the introductory video here, video number 1, down here you had video number 2, and you also had some kind of a link to the next step. Maybe this was like a hidden page or something. So in order for somebody to even see the link, they would have to have a comment approved. And we can even get even crazier, and I mean, within the Wishlist API, this might be fun for you to do on your own, but you can actually add someone to a level based on if they commented on this post. Pretty cool, right? But we won't, that's more complicated. But I mean, that's just an idea. So we need to make it where this video is hidden if we don't have a comment, but it appears if we do. And we're going to use a little thing called shortcodes. And I've mentioned them before, but basically, well, I'll just show you what a shortcode looks like. So let's edit this post. Click on the post title in here. We're going to edit this Hello World post. And what I'll do is, let's just say that I'm going to have, let's play, or how about, in all caps, place video number 1 here. And then I might say place video number 2 here, right? So this is the reward. So let's just call it that. Let's call it the reward. So what I can do is, well, I need to specify that this is something special, don't I? So what we do is we put in these hard brackets. We'll just call this reward, and then hard brackets / reward. Kind of tough to see there. Here we go. Okay? So kind of like HTML code, only instead of the the brackets, these are hard brackets. Okay, so reward slash reward. So now that's pretty much saying that this little section of code is just the reward area. Little problem though. If we just view this, well, we're not really doing anything with this, are we? So that's why we need to add a little another function just to handle that reward shortcode. And I'm glad that we're at this point. So don't take my word for it. Let's just go to Google again, and let's do WordPress shortcode to figure out how to code this up. And here is a page I've been to before. So here's what the shortcodes look like. But then at the bottom, there's this link, which you can't really see, to go to the Shortcode API. It's kind of hidden, but we found it. Shortcode API. So basically, you can have a something like this. So if we have shortcode, or this is my shortcode, but it has content inside of it, we're going to say add underscore shortcode. We will say the name, or like the tag itself, and then the function that will handle it. Now that function is going to take a few things, but we're interested in the second part. We're interested in the content inside of this. So I'll just do this really quickly to make it a little painless. So what we'll do is, let's just do this. Let's say function participator shortcode. And then looking back at this, it's going to give us some attributes and some content. Okay. So what we'll do here is attributes and content. We don't even care about this, don't even worry about what this is, but we're worried about the text in between the reward. Okay? So what we'll do is we'll say return, let's just say start of the reward, dot, content, end of the reward, just to see if we got this right. Save changes. Oh, and add the hook. So basically we added the function, the handler, but now we have to actually hook it up to WordPress. So we need to go back here, and we'll say, so now if we have text, whoops, you really can't see the bottom of that, can you? All right, I'll write it up here then. The order on this does not matter, by the way, if you haven't figured that out yet. Okay, so keeps resizing though. All right, so here we will say, if we have text such as reward video here / reward, then handle that shortcode. Okay, so add underscore shortcode. The name of it is reward, and then the function is participator shortcode. Semicolon. All right, save changes, and let's see what that gives us. So go back here, refresh, and did that work? Cool, check it out. So it basically replaced that stuff with, so we had reward bracket / reward bracket, and we can actually replace this whole thing. We can replace what's up before and after. We can do whatever we want. So that's where this other logic will come in, and now this is all kind of coming together in the very end, because all we really have to do is go to this shortcode here, and so let's see what we have to do. Let us do this. So we're going to use this participator comments function here. So right click and copy. So here we will say, and paste. So we'll say if participator comments equals 0, then just return the content as is, right? So if the user hasn't commented on this post, then don't show the video. Okay? Or actually, what we want to do, we want to return nothing, so nothing comes out. Okay? But if we keep going, just return what was given to us. Let's see how that worked. So, looks like so we have a comment, we have the reward. So let's figure out what happens if I had not posted this comment. Let's go back to the comments section. Do we have that open somewhere? Okay, comments. And what we'll do is unapprove this comment. Click back here, refresh, and check it out. We only are showing video number 1. So you show the video, or you put whatever text in the video that says, watch the video, do the assignment, fill it in below, then you approve it. So let's say I watched this first video, I left this comment, but it's awaiting moderation, so I can still only see the first video. But then the administrator comes in, approves this comment, goes back here, refreshes, and booyah, now we have the reward as well. Pretty cool, right? So let's go back here and let's kind of clean this up really quick. So we're actually not going to need to do this content stuff, this filter, so let's just do a / just to not use it. And we wanted to not apply this to the full level, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to steal this code here. So I'm going to select, right-click, and copy. Go down to the shortcode area. So we'll go right here, right-click, and paste. And then if we're in the full level, then we... Actually, no, let's put this at the top. So in this case, the order doesn't matter. So let's do this. So the first thing we're going to do, the very first thing, is we are going to figure out what levels the user's on. If we're in the full level, then great. Let's just show the video regardless. But otherwise, let's keep going and require them to have an approved comment. And if they do have an approved comment, show it. If not, then show nothing. So that's how to make a plugin from scratch using the Wishlist API. Now, before we go, 2 quick things I want to share with you. First of all, if Wishlist is turned off, then this plugin will error out. So what we should do is this. Let's say if class _ exists, and in quotes WLM API. So this way, if Wishlist is turned off, don't check the level. And I'll give you this code, but basically, I do this whenever possible. So this way, if we're updating the plugin, or if we have to turn Wishlist off for a second, this will still play nice. So if you have any code that is specific to Wishlist, then put it inside this. Check first to make sure that Wishlist is on, and this is how you do it. If Wishlist is on, then do this stuff, okay? So that's the first thing I want to show you. The second thing is how to add the version number, how to add your name, all that cool stuff to the plugin. So to do that, let's not even worry about looking it up the right way. Let's look at someone else's plugin. Plugins editor. And I've opened up a Kismet. Actually, let's open up Wishlist. Let's pick on these guys. Let's see how they did it, okay? So there's a bunch of encrypted stuff, but this stuff is never encrypted. So this is starting to make sense now, right? Because we have the plugin name, we had that. Here's plugin URI, which just means a URL. So this is the URL of your plugin. So basically, if we look at the list of plugins, you'll see what I mean. Okay, so see like this one. Okay, how about this? This is better. Hello Dolly is by Matt Mullenweg. Now, this is the link to his personal site, to his blog. But this is the link about the actual plugin. Okay, so that's the difference. Is that, let's say that you were just a plugin company. This would be the link to your main site. This would be the link to the site about that plugin specifically, like the support desk or the blog post announcing it. That's the difference. So we have plugin URI, author URI, which I leave blank usually in the version. So let's add a plugin URI and a version just to make this just finished. Okay. So over here we'll say plugin and then URI, not URL but URI : space. we'll just send people to wishlistbootcamp.com. And then on this final one, then we'll say version 1.0. Save the changes, and then we'll see how that looks, and then I'll let you go. All right? So plugins. And here you go, participator. Look at this. Visit plugin site. This is a link. Version 1.0. And then if we change this, this works as well. Pretty cool, right? So I know you and I made a lot of code today. A lot of code. But I wanted to show you something that we could actually use. So basically, just looking at this, here's the breakdown that I'll give to you. And well, let me view this in the plugins. I knew there was a reason why I kept switching back and forth, because this one actually looks a little bit better. So participator. Okay, so basically here's how this works. Is that whenever, okay, in WordPress, the most important things are like these add things, add filter, add shortcode, and we're actually not using this add filter stuff. So I could actually just demonstrate this. This makes a lot more sense. Okay, so all we really have in this plugin, widen it up a little bit. Oops, a little too wide. All right, so in this plugin, we've got a function, this shortcode thing. We have a thing to figure out, based on the current post, how many comments this user has in the post. And then we have this shortcode. So nothing really goes on until we get to this. So what this does is it says, in any post, if we have this reward video here / bracket thing, if we can find that, then run this whole thingamabob through this function, through this participator shortcode function. So we go up here, participator shortcode, that's this. And this says, all right, if wishlist is turned on and this person is in the full level, then the full level gets the special treatment. They don't have to comment. They just get all the content up front. They paid for it. They can get it. Okay? So that's what this little chunk does. But so at this point, either wishlist is turned off or wishlist is on, but they are not in the full level. So let's just do this other part. And this just says, let's see how many comments this person has on this post. And that's where this funky function came in, where I kind of had to cheat and go and see how others did it. Basically, this says, if we don't have any comments in this post, then don't show anything. Just obliterate that whole reward tag. But then if we keep going, then we'll just show what's inside. So basically that's what that does, is either you have no comments or you have some comments, right? If you have no comments, then stop. If you have some comments, then show what's in the post. And that's all we had to do. So I'm going to, I don't know why it keeps doing that crap. Gotta love WordPress when it gets messed up. Oh, okay, looks like it didn't break anything. It just seemed to happen that way. So I guess one more reason to kind of use the cPanel editor. But basically, that function is done. So that is a nice little function that you and I made together, and hopefully you follow along. And if not, I'll give you the code to this as well. But this might be a cool little way for you to get more activity in your membership site. If someone doesn't comment, well, then they only get 5 minutes of each video. But if they do comment, if they do the assignments, and you do approve those comments, then they get the second half of the video. So my name is Robert Plank, and this has been using the Wishlist API in your own plugins. I'm going to provide you with the link to the plugin in, I guess, the description below this video. Make sure you use it. Make sure you use the API. Make sure you make some WordPress plugins, and have a great